This is Live Talk, LMC-TV's weekly viewer call-in program. We put you in direct telephone contact with local officials, movers and shakers, and interesting people around Mamaroneck and Larchmont. Call us tonight with your questions, problems, comments, or opinions. Our telephone number, 698-6808. And now, it's time for a Live Talk. Good evening. Did you watch my show last week when I said that my guest this week was going to be Rabbi Siegelman? Well, the fellow sitting next to me is not Rabbi Siegelman, so I apologize to those people who tuned in for the good rabbi. He's going to be on next week. This week, I've got someone whom I work with every day. His name is Joe Windish, and he's LMC-TV's brand new Community Access Coordinator. Hi, Joe.
Hi, Mike.
And we're both familiar. We're so familiar with television that this is maybe a very unusual conversation. But I hope you stay tuned, because community television, public access that is, has to do with every one of you. Whether you tuned in for the rabbi or not, you can play a vital role in the development of community access. And what is community access? What is public access? Well, it's exactly what you're seeing now. It's me coming to you on a cable television channel. In fact, Channel 35 is also LMC-TV's. And maybe what we can do, Joe, is just start off by saying, what is Channel 35 and 36, and how is it different from the other cable channels that people can get?
Oh, well, channels 35 and 36 belong only to Larchmont and Mamaroneck. Mm-hmm. the town of Mamaroneck, the village of Larchmont, and the village of Mamaroneck. You can't get 35 and 36 right. Anywhere else. Everywhere else has their own 35 and 36, and there they program whatever they can program it with. Here,
so we got 2 channels out of 40 on the cable system that are special to the town of Mamaroneck, the village of Mamaroneck, and the village of Larchmont, right?
Right.
Okay, so what's the difference between Channel 2, Channel 4, Channel 7 versus Channel 36?
Well, 2, 4, 7 are broadcast stations. We are cable stations. But even the difference between us and other cable stations is that we are local cable stations, and what makes us even more different is that we are local cable stations run by local producers, so that you, if you wanted to come in, could produce a show of your own. We would train you, we would show you how to work the equipment and help you put together a show.
And that's exactly what I did, didn't I?
That's what you did.
A year and a half ago, I had an idea that I wanted to be able to command your attention, come into your living room, so to speak, and sit down and have chats with people who are, as we call them, the movers and shakers of Mamaroneck and Larchmont, the mayor, the town administrator, the superintendent of schools, people like that. And I wanted you out there to have direct access to those folks by telephone. So I started a program called Live Talk, and here it is. You could have the same kind of program. And as Joe just said, you can come in and you can be trained to operate television cameras and videotape machines, and you can make the same kind of program. So public access is you. It's me. It's local television. And this is the gentleman who just joined Larchmont Mamaroneck Community Television back in August as our new Community Access Coordinator. Welcome again, but I just welcomed you to the show, so I shouldn't say that, should I?
Well, now that's what you can do on 36. What we didn't tell you is what you can do on 35. 35 is a video tech service. Okay. And 35 is a service where if there is a church fundraiser or a church social or an organization club meeting or some kind of event, right, you can have that posted on the service, and it would, on Channel 35, it would run 24 hours a day.
Does that compete with the like the classified ads in a newspaper?
No, it is. It's not for sell your car. Mm-hmm. It's not for commercial things at all. It's again for local civic events.
Yeah, I did see a lost dog announcement on there once.
Yes, lost dogs. Actually, I like the idea of using it for lost dogs.
Listen, I hate to interrupt you, but we have our first caller of the night. I didn't even have to tell this person that Live Talk is a live viewer call-in show. So call in. Here we go. Hi, you're on Live Talk. Go ahead, please.
Yes, I'm calling in. I just wanted to say that on 35, when you had programming on 36, you used to run the nightly schedule, so that if I wanted to find out what was on 36, I could go to 35 and look at the schedule. And now you have all community bulletin board. And I really miss that, because if I want to know what's on that night, now there's already a program on 36, and I can just flip to 35 and say, oh yeah, something's on at 9 o'clock. So is there some way we could do that again?
Joe?
Well, there are 34 pages, I think. There might be even more pages on channel 35. So yes, we could do that, but then you would end up sitting and watching through 33 pages before you got to the page that had your schedule on it. If you're watching a show at the half an hour between shows, we put up the nightly schedule. That's how it works right now.
So that you can tune in like 28 after the hour or 2 minutes to the hour
watch
or so.
the end of the show until it comes on. So that's how you could do it. The idea of putting the schedule on 35 is something I will keep in mind.
Okay. Well, how about the caller?
Yes.
Don't you get your LMC-TV newsletter?
Yes, I do, but I don't have it pinned up to my TV set.
You don't?
I'm sorry.
No, put it on the refrigerator.
Well, that's for sure.
Then there's the problem with changing the schedule at the last minute, like the parade that was canceled that I scheduled. You learn not to schedule things that may be postponed. But
yeah, well, in the newsletter, which comes out monthly now and is delivered to households that are members of LMC-TV, that newsletter does have a program schedule for the entire month.
Right.
But some of those programs are listed as to be announced. And, and
then those slots are for people who produce something instantly. Like somebody comes in this week and puts together a show, or a show that's in the works, but I can't say today will be ready on November 5th, but it'll probably be ready on November 5th. I can put to be announced. Now, how would you find out about that show?
So caller, listen to this, because here's more news for you.
If you're on the mailing list, you will get a mailing announcing new shows.
Right.
One of the things that hasn't happened yet, but will happen, is that we will inform program notices for new shows and what their schedule is and will be. The other way is the Soundview News has been very helpful. They haven't begun to run my schedule yet.
But they may.
They said they would, and I've been sending it to them every week, and I figure if they keep getting it one of these days, they'll put it in. But they have been running at least every other week an article about us, like the classes that are happening now or mentioned in this week's. So the Soundview News is another place to watch for what's happening here.
Okay. Caller, thank you.
Yes.
All right, bye-bye. Going to another call. Hello, you're on Live Talk. Go ahead, please.
Yes, this is for Joe.
Yes?
How do you plan to turn people on to making television in Larchmont and Mamaroneck?
Joe, turning people on. How do you do that?
How did I answer that question when I was interviewed for this job? Well, I plan to talk to him. I'm talking to him in every way I can. I've written to all of the organizations that I have a name and address for, and there's 50 of them that I've contacted so far. If your organization has not been reached, give me a call at 698-6808, and we'll set something up. So one of the things that I want to do is visit all of the organizations. A second thing is programs. Make programs, or get people into the studio. If you were here tonight to watch this show, you would see that we have a really snazzy studio. 3 cameras, lots of nice lights, a big giant studio. The control room is exciting, and I've set the office up as a place where you can sit in rows and watch the show, and I invite people to come and watch shows being taped. A show being taped is a very exciting thing. I want to start, and will start. In fact, I've talked to 2 people so far. 3 people so far are lined up for host of the week. That means that someone will come in and do a week of introducing the day's programming. The idea of all of these things is to get people in here. If you see the studio, you'll get the video bug, I think.
Caller, how's that for an answer?
That sounds terrific. Can I come in next Wednesday night and watch Live Talk?
You certainly can.
Yes, you can.
Great.
In fact, because you were the first to ask, you'll get a complimentary cup of coffee.
Great.
On the house.
See you next week.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
I'd actually like people to call ahead of time. Actually, I can handle.
Okay. Well, during Live Talk, we've got this big studio, and we've got our crack crew here, but We can have some guests here, can't we?
Yes.
You know, something occurred to me when you were talking about exciting people to catch the video bug. Now, I'm thinking of some folks out there who have grown up all their lives with television. And you know how you're used to watching television? I mean, that's all you do. You watch it. You sit in your sofa and you put your feet up and you turn on whatever. But the idea of making your own television show, it's scary in a sense. I mean, does it have to look like the slick stuff that comes out of New York or Hollywood to go on a local channel like this?
No.
Okay.
But I say a lot of things about your question triggers so many things. First of all, we don't just sit and watch television anymore. We're much more active. The VCR was the first thing to do it. Or was cable the first thing to do it? Probably cable was the first thing to do it. The VCR and cable give you, choices, control over the television that you didn't have before. The other thing is that home video recorders are all over. Everyone's got one. And people are very good. That's another thing. If you want to record an event on your home camera, we can show it on our station, and that would be a service. If you recorded the Firemen's Parade tonight in Larchmont, that I didn't have anybody to go out and record, and you could bring it to me, I can play it, and all of those, like myself, who missed that parade, could see it. That would be a very helpful thing. The second thing, though, on that subject is that television news, I can kick it a little bit here, from my position here, since we're in access, is very slick but very empty. If you watch local television news, you get 30 seconds. I mean, I can't remember the one that was the classic that I did remember for so long, details at 11, and you wait and you watch, and then you coming up next or coming up later, and then you wait and you watch, and then you time it, and it's a 15-second bite. It's nothing. It's empty. I'm more interested in content, in things that are interesting, than I am in does your picture spin off the screen. And we have a lot of good technology here to do the kinds of things that you would want to do. But the other point is that people are sort of afraid of the equipment, the technology of television. And I say that the technology is easy. When you bought your refrigerator, when you bought your new washing machine or your new microwave oven or your VCR, figuring out how to work the thing. In fact, actually, VCRs are a bad example. I have too many friends who never figured out how to work them. But they look impossible, you read the instructions, but once you learn how to work them, they're nothing. Learning to push the buttons is the easy part. You learn to push the buttons.
Hang on a second. I got to push a button here because I don't want to keep a caller on hold too long. Yes.
Good.
Hi, you're on Live Talk. Go ahead, please.
Hi, first I'd like to welcome Joe to the Larchmont Mamaroneck Avenue area. And I was wondering if you could explain to me how a person in the community would go about getting involved with the access station.
What kind of involvement are you looking for?
Oh, I don't know, learning about the equipment, doing things.
Okay.
That kind of stuff.
Okay.
Well, the first thing you can do is sign up for the classes that are offered this Saturday from 9 to noon or the following Saturday from 9 to noon. Those are free, introductory, overview kinds of classes. You won't come in and learn all the details of studio production, but you'll come in and you'll see what we have to offer, and you will learn the skills necessary to come in and work on shows like Live Talk or the other shows that we do. Another thing, if you can't make it to one of those classes, is to call me up and to talk to me about the kinds of involvement you want. Do you want to be talent? Do you want to do a show? Do you want to work camera? Do you want to help me in the office?
Is that a pitch for help here?
Oh yeah, we can use you if you want to come in. The other thing, I've been telling people to stop by anytime you want to stop by. So I get here and there's people stopping by all day long, and I'm like, oh, I don't have time. I'll be right with you. Call me and make an appointment, and
so that they'll have your undivided attention.
Yes.
Okay.
Even then, you'll get 80%. Does that answer it?
Yes, it does. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. We got another caller. Hi, you're on Live Talk. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, hi. I was at the workshop last night with Joe, and it was a wonderful thing. And I just wanted to call and tell everybody, especially women right before that, it's really a lot of fun, and it's very easy to do, at least the cameras. Some of the other stuff seemed a lot more complicated to me. But, I mean, if people come in and see, they really enjoy it, and it's really a wonderful thing to get involved with the community.
Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
What is it about this television studio that brought you in here? Just that you want to work some equipment?
Yeah, I've always wanted to be a camera person. And my son is very into it, and he's involved with a few people over there. And
Good.
I got very interested in it, and I love it, and it was so much fun yesterday. I did not want to get off the cameras. I wanted to beat up the people who I had to get the cameras to.
Good.
It was great.
Do I have you booked for another time?
Yes, you do.
Right, good, okay.
Okay.
I'm glad you had a good time.
Yeah, it was great. I think everybody should go out and try it. It's really a lot of fun.
Listen, by the way, later on in this show, I think we're going to show a little clip from last night's class.
Oh, great.
So, okay.
Yeah,
just to show
and
the folks
actually
out there what goes on
Oh,
in
it was
the
great. It was
class.
really a lot of fun, yeah.
Okay, thanks for calling.
Okay, good luck. Bye.
Bye. You know, when we were in conversation before, there was a caller who was on hold for the longest time. So if you were that caller, please try again.
Oh.
My guest is Joe Windish, who is the Access Coordinator for Larchmont and Mamaroneck Community Television, which is the station you're watching right now, cable channel 36. And he is the gatekeeper of sorts to equipment, to channel time, so that you, Joe and Jane Amateur, can get involved in making television. Not just sitting back and watching, but using television in our community to do something, to entertain, to inform, to bring a whole bunch of people together on an issue and make a point. You were talking about the classes that are on Saturdays. Now, this is new. LMC has not had a Saturday class before, correct?
Right.
Okay.
Not to my knowledge.
No, right.
But I was trying to find time when it would be a good time for people, and
Sure.
I thought Saturday mornings were a good time for people. We had the other one on a Tuesday night. The other thing about a Saturday morning is it doesn't tie up the studio time. We have the studio from Monday to Friday night. Actually, I have high hopes for a live Saturday morning puppet show for toddlers that we're shooting.
Good.
We're shooting one on Monday, the first one. And we're going to see how that goes. And if I can get her to do it, it would be fun to bring the toddlers in and have them do that. And that would become a Saturday morning thing.
That's terrific. So if people want to come in Saturday morning, they should call and make an appointment.
If you want to come this Saturday morning, and come. If you're late, come.
Okay.
If you can, call.
All right. And how long is it going to be?
It's
the
from
session?
9 to noon.
From 9 to noon.
It will end promptly at noon. It will probably start late. My experience is that we get started late.
So
But
come bring
you
your
will-
coffee if you're not quite awake on a Saturday morning.
Bring me a cup, cream and sugar, and a powdered donut.
Now.
I know,
Okay.
I guess I'm pushing it.
What exactly will folks do then? I mean, they'll meet you,
Well,
they'll see the place.
We go. It's first thing we do is go over the LMC-TV user's guide, the manual, the rules and regulations, the procedures for how to do different things.
Right.
Then we go over video vocabulary. That's my sort of sheet of terms that I use as so that we all think the same way.
Right.
And while we do that, we have people from the class working the cameras, and we record it. And then afterwards, we move into the control room, go over the control room, go over editing, and then come back in the studio and go over the portable equipment.
Good. Okay, we've got a caller on hold. Let's take a call. Hi, you're on Live Talk. Go ahead, please.
Hello, I attended your meeting this morning at Reichman. Joe?
Oh, hi.
I'd just like to know how you feel about this group, and you feel it has the potential to come through with a great news show for LMC-TV?
Yes, I do think that the Reichman people, I'm going to be there again next Wednesday, and next Wednesday make sure everyone knows that I'm going to expect all the footage to be shot and everybody to be pulling their hair out saying, we shot it, but now what are we going to do with it? And I'll tell you, or we'll figure out what we're going to do with it. It's all there, and you can do it, and we will do it.
I see. Thank you very much.
You can watch that show in November. I don't have a date. Did we, caller, are you there?
Yes.
Did we decide what day you wanted to be on?
I think we wanted to be on sometime in November.
Yeah, but you wanted a Monday, didn't you?
I don't know.
I think Mondays. Rye-Neck High's news show will be on Mondays, I think.
Terrific.
Hope it becomes just as good as Mamaroneck's. If not better.
Good. A little competition is real healthy.
Healthy competition.
Thanks for calling.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Got another call. Hi, you're on Live Talk. Go ahead, please. Hello?
Call back.
Hello? Somehow I missed that call. I hope the caller calls back.
Oh, one thing I want to say is,
Yes.
this is the first live talk that, even if you're watching a rerun, you can call. And I will be here and take your call.
That's
and
right.
Answer your question.
That's right. Except that if they're watching the repeat of this show on Friday, they won't be
Right.
able to, well, they'll be able to call, but they won't get us live.
You won't see me.
We'll be on videotape.
You'll just hear me.
Right. Your hours for LMC, when can people generally expect to find you around these parts? In the office, let's be specific.
You can count on me being here between 4 and 7.
4 o'clock and 7 o'clock, 5 days a week.
5 days a week.
Okay.
I am probably here between 3 and 10:30. I could even say 2:30 and 10:30. But one of the things that I want to say about the phone, sometimes the phone machine will be on, or sometimes I won't be able to take the call right away. I always get back to my messages. It may take me a day or two, but I always get back to my messages. So leave a message and I will return the call.
What you mean is that during the daytime hours, when
right,
the
there's a
high school
machine.
operates in here, there's an answering machine.
There's an answering machine.
And when you come in, you hear your messages and get back to people.
And it sometimes takes a while because everything hits.
Sure. Hang on a sec. We got a phone call. Hello, you're on Live Talk. Go ahead, please.
Yes, I was at your workshop last night, and I think it was really great. And the question that I have is, I was at an aerobic studio today, and I was wondering if you were going to video at a studio such as that, and they had fluorescent lights, are there special lights that you have to bring with you? Or is that fluorescent lights, would that work?
Depending on the camera, you could get away with fluorescent lights. If you wanted to bring one of our lights, you would need a filter to adjust the temperatures for the lights.
And how many lights would you need? Would you need 3 of those 750 watt lights, or?
Well, it depends on the area. And so you're thinking about shooting an aerobics class?
Yes.
Is that what I'm hearing?
Yes.
It doesn't happen to be in a room with big windows? Shoot it during the day?
It does happen to be in a room with a large room with big windows, but they also have bright fluorescent lights.
Well, that may work.
Yeah, that might work.
The only way is to test it.
One of the things that I try to do is say, especially with beginners, and most of us are beginners at this stage, the people who have been around a lot aren't calling in tonight, is go easy. So that rather than hauling out 3 lights and putting lights up and getting filters on and being a big distraction, start off small and get comfortable with lights and get comfortable with what the camera can and can't do, and then move to more complicated shoots. So
Okay. Another question is, how many people would you need to do a shoot in something like a fitness spa? Would you need, how many people would it take to film something like that? Or video something like that, I should say.
optimally would be 3. 1 to run the camera, 1 to run the deck, and 1 to coordinate and help.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thanks for calling.
I'll see you at your the next class.
Good. Thanks. Bye-bye. Coordinate so that when somebody lifts their leg, they don't fly into the camera head, huh?
Yes.
Among other things.
Actually, when you said this, I was hoping I had this. There was a person who was interested in doing an aerobic show, and I haven't heard from her recently.
I had an idea about doing a show where the camera would be strapped to me, and so the whole thing would be from my point of view. I don't think we're going to look at a mirror knowing me, but I think it would be kind of interesting to have the camera go up and down and just see what happens. Is that possible? No. He shoots on the water, so he goes up and down. If somebody wanted to do a completely way out video with their own home equipment, is that something that LMC would play out to the community on Channel 36?
Probably.
Yeah.
I mean,
if somebody wanted to do little Joey's birthday party and with their own equipment, could they play that out?
I would probably, unless you did something particularly interesting with little Joey at his birthday party, I think that would. I think there is a place in access television for the alternative television for the kinds of things that you can't see on broadcast television. Right. But. And you don't need to demonstrate a broad, wide, general interest. We're not about broad interests. We're about narrow interests. Larchmont and Mamaroneck is one of those narrow interests in the perspective of New York City. But a birthday party...
Now, if 50 of young Joey's friends called in and said, we want to see that tape...
I mean, it's really a fine line, because if you want to show football or baseball or soccer, we've got it, and it's great. It's some of our best stuff. So, well, yeah, it's really good stuff. It gets some of our biggest audiences.
I would like to show the audience a little bit of some of the work that you've done outside of Larchmont and Mamaroneck. I mean, you are not brand new to television since August, are you?
No.
No.
I've been around a little while.
You have been around. You've graduated from New York University, Tisch School of the Arts, and one of the tapes that you brought with you tonight is from a program which is currently running on LMC called 2 by Joe. And what we are about to see is a public service announcement that is part of that 2 by Joe.
Right.
Can you do a little setup? Just tell us what we're going to see. It's a minute long, I know that.
Yes, it's a minute long. It's for Nickelodeon. And it was done by a bunch of kids from a dropout prevention program in the South Bronx. They came up with the idea, they wrote the script, such as it is, and all of that. And it was shot by kids from the Educational Video Center, which is an alternative schools program in New York City. So it was 100% kids produced.
And all of these kids coordinated by you?
Yeah. It grew out of my work. I work, in addition to here in the New York City public school system, with teachers developing programs to use video to teach in the classroom.
All right. If we can, Jim, our director, let's see if we can take a little look at a public service announcement by Joe Windish. Here we go. Okay, very nice. I hear my sound. Now I don't. Thank you, control room. That was some pretty sophisticated stuff, and that was all done by high school kids?
Yeah, that was all done by high school kids.
How long did something like that take to do?
How long did it take? It took an afternoon. I mean,
that took an afternoon?
I mean, the shooting of it took an afternoon. It was 5 days in the school developing the idea, and it was 1 day of taping the maze down and spray painting the floor.
Designing the whole thing.
And yeah, I ran around looking for mazes. Actually, I designed that maze. The kids did everything else. I designed the maze.
A very good maze, if I may say so. We got a caller now. Let's take it. Hello, you're on Live Talk. Go ahead, please.
Hi, I was just wondering if there's a movie review show in the works for LMC-TV, because I'd like to see one.
A movie review show in the works. Did you hear about such a show?
No.
No.
You didn't?
Just curious?
Yeah.
What do you know about
There's
a movie
been
review
great
show, Joe?
demand for a movie review show amongst the MHS TV contingent. So I think it's in the works, and I think you'll get your show. How soon?
Come? Can I ask a question, caller?
Yes.
What kind of movies do you want to see reviewed?
I don't know. I guess the ones that basically come out in the theater, not old movies.
Well, what about like the shows that are already on television, like the Siskel and Ebert kind of shows? Don't they do what you want?
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
It'll be more fun to see on LMC-TV.
Why? Because the people who are on TV are people you know?
Yeah.
Okay. What about, I take it you're not an adult, right?
No.
Okay. So what about a kids review show of movies?
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Oh, okay. Well, that's something that's not on TV now.
It's actually on Nickelodeon.
Yeah, Nickelodeon has it a little bit, but they don't have people who live in Mamaroneck and
They don't
Larchmont.
have people.
Right, caller?
Right.
Right, okay. I think Joe's going to make a note of that, and maybe we can get back to you on another date with some developments.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thanks for calling.
Bye.
It is a good idea, I think.
Well, I mean, I would agree that it's a good idea, and I would hope that our show that is in the works has a little twist to it.
Because the new show? Or
the some people have approached me and are now at work on putting together a movie review show.
Oh, good.
They haven't come to me with the concrete, but they've promised that it's coming, and I expect it, and we'll put that show together.
Tell me about, and for the benefit of those people who might just have tuned in, LMC is offering what kinds of programming now on a regular basis? You want to talk about some of the series that you are coordinating?
Okay, we have
Live Talk once a week, and we're on Live Talk now. All right.
We have Parenting once a week. Parenting is on Thursdays at 9. It's at 8. It's another live call-in show.
Okay.
Then we have the Video Angler, a fishing show. We have municipal shows. Inside Mamaroneck was the first with Mayor Paul Noto. That started this summer, and its success triggered 2 other shows. That one debuted last night on The Town with Dolores Battaglia on The Town of Mamaroneck. And tomorrow we shoot, and Tuesday we air Larchmont Notes with Mayor Miriam Kernan.
Oh, good.
So we have the mayors. And then there's our news show. The news show will begin on Monday, October 19th at 9 p.m. and be seen on Mondays at 9. It's a local Larchmont and Mamaroneck news program. It's called Our Times. It's not the Daily Times, it's Our Times. And it's subtitled Community News and Views because everyone has their own definition of what news is, so we covered ourselves with views. That show is conceptually an umbrella show under which producers can do their own segment, so that if you want to do a story on the duck pond, come on in, call me tomorrow, call me now. I need a story on the duck pond by November 9th. If you want to do a story, if you have an issue that you care about, if you have a reaction to one of our stories, you can respond, and that's the idea of it. If we can turn it into a show where there's a dialogue between the viewers and the makers, and the viewers are the makers and the viewers, that's success.
Yeah. You know, I have heard many times some people talking about community television, access television, as kind of empowering people. And I've heard the comparison of access television to, for instance, access to a Xerox machine. I mean, almost anybody today, for instance, if they want to have a tag sale, they'll draw up a poster and they'll go to the local Xerox store and have 100 copies and plaster them all over the place. But there is no access outside of this, really, to the medium of television, to the electronic media. And once you've got moving picture and sound, of course, it's so much more information you can get across in a shorter time than a Xerox poster. Not to knock xerography, but is that a fair definition of what LMC is all about, to empower people?
Yes.
Okay.
The thing that it triggers in me, though, is that's the dream. The reality in the cable world isn't as wonderful as it is right here. I mean, we have a really good facility, and we've got to use it to keep it.
Yeah.
A lot of times cable companies aren't real fond of their access operations and don't give them the fullest support or the kind of support that we have gotten.
From UA Columbia, which owns
from UA Columbia.
our system, right?
And well, I don't know where
You're pausing for a phone call? Because
yes,
you saw the
I'm
green
pausing
light.
for a phone call.
Boy, this guy's observant. Hi, you're on Live Talk. Go ahead, please.
Yes, I was wondering if you have any plans for workshops for children younger than high school age. For instance, junior high, maybe late elementary school.
An idea.
If you have a child like that?
Yes, I do.
Can we keep you on the line and have your child come in on Monday? Because we have the puppet show that I described earlier is a show where I want, just like the maze was kid produced, I would like this puppet show which is for toddlers to be shot and done by young people. So you can either stay on the line. Can we have somebody take a
Yes,
take
Faith
a message?
is doing our telephone traffic tonight.
So stay on the line and give them your name and number, and we'll get a hold of you. Or call me tomorrow, because how I plan to do it is there's no better way to learn than by doing. So to have you come in and have the kids come in and work on shows.
That's great. Thank you.
Thanks for calling. Okay, there's another kids show that LMC does on a regular basis.
KTV.
KTV, short
Kids
for?
TV. Kids television. KTV. What time? Monday nights at 9? When's? Pardon me. I don't know my own schedule too well.
Well, that's all right. It's complicated. 6 nights
actually,
a week.
I do know though that the KTV kids did a segment for our new show.
Good.
So on the Constitution.
And I think what they had done in their elementary school, right?
Right, for the releasing of the balloons, and they also recorded the town senior center singing on Constitution Day.
Yeah. You know, some people out there might be saying, oh my God, kids, shaky cameras, sound that goes all over the place. Is there something special about video that kids capture?
Is there something?
Aside from the shakiness and the wildness of it.
Well, kids certainly are of television, so that they're fish to water with television. Adults are actually harder to get than kids. But kids are very easy,
They
very
just take
comfortable.
right to
It's
it.
their language.
Yeah.
And so
it's interesting stuff to watch. I have seen some video by kids, and you do get the shakes, that's for sure. But there's a kind of a unique viewpoint, closer to the ground.
Closer to the ground.
to be funny for a second. But if you kids are watching out there, and I'm serious, it's good stuff. It's fun stuff. And very often they will choose topics that an adult would not think to choose. But the children's point of view is really intriguing. There is another tape, by the way, that I'm not so sure this is not as finished a product as what we saw a little earlier with your public service announcement. But last night you had a class of people in here, and as you said during your class, you have various people on camera, and they are taping the class as it happens. So we've got a little minute or so of that class, and can you just?
The fun thing about this class is that I have done this sort of thing so many times, hundreds of times, where I sort of gave the same talk. Now, I didn't give the Larchmont Mamaroneck Community Television Users Guide talk, but I certainly knew enough about it that I was like, ooh, this will be a snap. You know, okay, and they're all nervous on the camera and stuff. And the camera started rolling and I froze. I said, cut. So this is the second try.
Oh, you're not going to see the goof.
And the second try is a little better.
Okay. If we can see a little bit of that tape, Jim. In 4 seconds, 3, 2, they're giving you a beautiful countdown. Thank you, Teddy. Here's the
Hi, I'm Joe Windish. I'm the new access coordinator here at LMC-TV. This is our first access user's guide, video user's guide. So, I think I should begin by telling us all a little bit about what we're about. We are an access center. What an access center is, as opposed to a broadcast television center or even a cable network, is a television facility for the public to use, for everybody, everywhere to come in, everywhere in the local area to come in and use their equipment to do shows.
Yeah. Oh, here we are. We're back again. We're out of videotape. My gosh, the show is just running along. Now, this was done last night by the people who were on the cameras were in your class.
They're the people in the class.
Good.
They came in and they were the first. They were the ones on time. Said, "Okay, you're on time. You, your camera."
We have 3 cameras here.
3 cameras.
And they were working 3 cameras last night.
Right.
Well, you didn't look too bad in front of the camera there. I mean, you sort of had words in your mouth and you were making sense. But it is a little difficult. I mean, sometimes I sit here week after week and I say to myself, boy, if I freeze and don't know what to say, you do feel foolish. I mean, you're sitting here on a television audience with a couple thousand people out there watching me, and what happens?
Well, different people are good at different things. I'm not good at this side. I'm much better at that side.
Really? Well, that sounds to me that then you would be especially sensitive to people who have to get in front of the camera for the first time. I mean, since you feel the angst of doing what you're doing right now.
I'm generally fairly good at relaxing people about being on camera, though.
Yeah. But doing it yourself is not
doing it myself.
Not to a cup of tea.
Snap. But then it's true. Some people just take right to being on camera. They're real easy, but to focus it is a little bit more trouble.
What else will that class be doing in the next few weeks? I mean, yesterday they just got their feet wet, so to speak.
No, it's 3 individual classes. Each class is the same thing.
Oh, okay.
And those classes are just starters, intros, jump-off points. Then you can follow however you want. One group of students from last night is going to they're going to do a health fitness show, and they're going to come in as a group and get a group rate to learn how to use the studio to do just their particular show. So they'll come in regularly on the same night. We're going to work that out. Another bunch of students are going to come in and work on the municipal shows. Tomorrow they're going to be working on Miriam Kernan's show, and those people may follow the work the camera 2, which is the easy camera where you just and then move to the more difficult camera 1, and then so the others are going that direction.
Okay, hang on for a sec. We got a call coming in. Hello, you're on Live Talk. Go ahead.
Hi, I was listening to your show, and I heard that somebody had an idea about filming a show in a fitness studio, and I was wondering if you were going to be having any shows in the future on health and fitness.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, Joe just mentioned it.
Great.
Okay, let's talk about that for another second.
Okay, the fitness show. Hopefully, it will be on in November's schedule 2. But it'll probably be in a to-be-announced slot because we'll have to wait until we get them up to speed to do their show.
Right.
And that show will start off probably with very simple studio talk, but move on to going out to an aerobics class and shooting at the aerobics class or that kind of thing.
That sounds really great.
Good. Well, I hope you watch.
Pardon?
I hope you watch.
Yes, I definitely will.
Thanks for calling.
Very much.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Our own Jane Fonda's. My gosh.
I know.
Is this going to be like a Jane Fonda workout type show?
No.
No? Different.
Well, our hours are at the wrong time. I mean, we are on
evening exercise.
We are on from 7 to 10 Monday to Friday. With regularly scheduled programs.
That's kind of really interesting. If you have a program about exercise, very often exercise is usually thought of in the morning. You do it to get your heart pumping and get going for the day, and yet you've got a program for an evening viewer. You have to consider all of those things, don't you? I mean, so an exercise program can't be kind of morning-oriented if it's going to be shown at 7 or 8 at night. Now,
it could be, and the show with the aerobics person that I hoped to get, and if you're watching, call, was going to be more on sort of the techniques, what am I saying, more on the theory, like The old sit-up is not the way to do sit-ups anymore.
I see.
The new,
So there won't be disco music and follow me as I up one, down two, up
There'll
three.
be demonstrations, but it's not, okay, everybody on your feet.
All right. Good. Well, there is some of that on cable television, but I'm never up that early in the morning to watch. Folks, we've got about 15 minutes left with Joe Windish, who's my guest tonight on Live Talk. If you just tuned in, Joe is the new cable access coordinator for Larchmont Mamaroneck Community Television, the very channel that you're watching now. He helps me do my thing on Live Talk. He'll help you do your thing. If you want to produce a program or just get involved, do camera, be an audience member, come on in and take a look at the place. You can call Joe. His office hours, as he said earlier, from roughly 4 o'clock till 10.
Yeah.
4 till 10, 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, at the phone number that's on your screen from time to time during this show. It's 698-6808. And in the daytime hours, that is before 4 o'clock, there's usually an answering machine on. So feel free to leave a message. And as you said, Joe, you promised to get back to people.
I'll always get back to you.
Good. A promise he keeps. I've got a caller right here. Hello, you're on Live Talk. Go ahead, please.
Hi, Mike. This is for Joe.
Yes.
You had mentioned earlier, you were talking about kids. What about, what are the possibilities of covering the monthly school board meetings?
Good point.
How many people would it take? Is it hard to...
Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
Why? Why should LMC-TV cover the... I'm asking in Joe's place, but just ask, yeah, in your words.
Larchmont Mamaroneck School Board, and I think their meetings are very interesting, and I think that the topics are very important for the balance of the community to hear what's happening within the schools. Oftentimes they have presentations of things that I think are very interesting, and I think that the community would enjoy seeing. For instance, kids within the school and what's happening. Last night they did a presentation on the Constitution, both in the high school, in the Homics, and in the elementary school. And I think that that's important for the balance of the community to hear what's happening within the schools.
So if they're not at the school board meeting...
If they're not at the school board meeting, they're not going to hear about it unless through hearsay, possibly you might see something maybe in the Soundview News. But it just... To me, it would seem to be something that might be a plausible thing to cover.
Okay, Joe, what does it take to do the school board meeting once a month?
That's the easiest thing that you could do. I actually don't know where they are. Where are they?
They're down the road at Central School.
They're at Central School. Are they the same place where we tape the Constitution lectures?
Yes.
So they'd be very easy to do. It would take two of you, one of you to carry the camera, one of you to carry the deck and run the wires, and it's the easiest thing to do. You plug the camera in, you frame your picture, and you shoot. We would show you how to work the camera and all of those kinds of things. The school board meetings, the town and village meetings are all meetings that I would like to get covered, to get people to come in and cover regularly. It's easy to do when you have a controversial issue. I'm sure if they were going to close Central Avenue School. No, wait a minute. What's the school?
Central School?
Mamaroneck Avenue School. Any of the schools that they said they were going to close, I'd have 10 people in here saying, I'm going to take a camera, put this on, so that when there's an issue, people are wanting to do it. I would like to get people who regularly go to these meetings or a group of people to sort of pass it off, because it's definitely something that we could do. And we can schedule it outside of our 7 to 10 p.m. time period. We can schedule it on Saturdays, Sundays. With the Sheldrake River Town
the hearing
meeting, we got a caller who said, when are we going to show it? And I said, well, when do you want to see it? She said Saturday at 2, and on it went Saturday at 2. It also went on the following Tuesday at 8. So, I mean, it wasn't, but I mean, I can literally put something on for you.
Viewer request, huh?
Viewer request.
Yeah. Good. Are you interested, caller, in volunteering?
Well, I try to get to the meetings every Tuesday, but I usually get there late, so as soon as my classes are over, I certainly would like to do it.
All right. Well, keep in contact with Joe then.
Are they weekly?
No, they're...
So they're the second Tuesday of every month is the monthly school board meeting.
Now, a second way that you and everybody watching has to know about is that if you have your own home camera, that is the easiest way. Because, and I know that people who go to that board meeting or those, whatever the meeting are, have their own camera at home and know how to work their cameras already. And it's very easy for you to take your camera along with you to the meeting and set it up and record it. Now, you still might want to talk to me to have me help you get cables so that you can get cleaner sound on your tape, because if you take your home camera with the little microphone that's there, you're not going to get the sound, and we can in some cases have a line out from the microphones that are on the podium so that you can get clean sound on your tape. But an avenue that I am looking forward to avidly pursuing is that you at home can use your own equipment to record these kind of things. It makes it much easier for yourself, and it does a service for the station and consequently the community.
Good. Thank you, caller.
Thank you.
Okay. I wanted to ask you something. When somebody wants to videotape a Board of Education meeting or a municipal meeting or something, these are groups that are not used to being videotaped, not used to having their every word recorded and played back for the rest of the community. Is that something that people need permission to do, or are these meetings open, therefore they can always be videotaped?
Well, they're generally open meetings. I don't know, are there occasionally closed meetings? I mean, if there was a like if they went into executive session, everybody would have to go.
Sure.
But they're open meetings. It's always nice to let them know that you're going to tape. Usually they want you to tape it. And to help them look their best by giving them little hints about the microphone. Hand over the microphone when you're whispering that nasty comment. And, not ruffling papers. So talk to them and give them little hints. That's another area, though, where if you called me, I would talk to the people and help smooth that transition.
So you're not only a resource to people who may want to videotape such a meeting, but you're also a person who would be able to go, for instance, to a couple people on, let's say, the Board of Ed, since that came up. You would go and work with them and say, well, listen, if you're going to be videotaped, here's how to look and sound the best for television.
Yes.
Not that they're pitching everything toward television, but as you said, cover the mic, rattling papers, stuff like that.
Simple things that work for them and work for you, I can definitely help with, yes.
Good. LMC has a program coming up at the end of the month, don't they?
Yes.
It's in witches and goblins and little kids. It's the Halloween special.
The Halloween trick or treat on 36 from 5 to 8 p.m. on Saturday, October 35th.
Right.
31st, Halloween.
Okay. On Halloween night, what happens from 5 to 8?
The studio becomes a haunted mansion. And all of the kids from all of the little neighborhoods around come in all of their costumes and get free tricks or treats.
Hopefully treats.
Most of them get treats, but occasionally there's a trick, usually pulled by one of the little devils. And we have entertainment here, and we have it, send it out live, and then we repeat it immediately after from 8 to 11, so you can go home and watch yourself. And we repeat it during the following week.
Right.
We won't be showing it on Monday. No, we won't be showing it on Tuesday. The following week we show it every day at 4 o'clock.
So the kids coming home from school can see it.
So that you can come home and look again, and if you didn't see yourself that day, you can catch yourself the next day, or you liked yourself so much yesterday that you can watch yourself again today.
Let's see if we can sneak in a phone call here before we go. Hi, you're on Live Talk.
Hi, this is for Joe.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I was at your meeting this morning with my next students, and I was wondering if you could tell me how to make something more interesting. I'm doing an interview with somebody, and I want to make it more interesting rather than just a interview.
Okay, can I ask you one thing?
Yeah?
If you're close to your television set, turn the sound down on your set. That's the squealing that you're hearing. Okay?
Okay.
Good. All right, Joe?
Well, how do you make your interview more interesting?
quickly because we only have a couple minutes.
I know, we only have a couple of minutes.
But you're going to be back at Reichman next week,
Next
right?
week. I'm going to be there next week. Have the interview done next week.
Okay.
You'll make it more interesting in the editing. I hate to say that because it's unedited like this is a lot fairer in general.
Yeah.
But
I can offer a suggestion.
Good.
Caller. One of the things you can do is to listen and follow up. For instance, you don't see me always looking down at questions that I've prepared for Joe. I listen to what he's telling me, and then I ask a follow-up question. But I also do have some notes in front of me, so in case I get stuck for a topic, I can go down and remind myself that I want to ask him about this. So if you've got some notes prepared on a piece of paper, but if you listen actively to who you're talking to, I think your interview will come up better.
Thank you.
You're welcome. How much time do we have left, crew? 2 minutes, I'm told. 2 fingers being held up. That's 2 minutes.
I want 4.
My gosh. On the Halloween special, I remember it's Carole West who's producing this, and,
yes.
and she is known in some parts as the Wicked Witch of the West, but she's not really that wicked. I mean, she does a terrific job hosting this thing, and this is the 4th year that we've done this, and
it's become an institution.
Yeah. So you expect how many? 100 kids or more coming through?
I expect more.
More? And they'll be able to come in here on Halloween night.
Halloween night.
From 5 to 8. And they'll get
treats
on television.
On TV.
So that mom and dad and grandma and grandpa and all the relatives can see it live from 5 to 8. And then as soon as it's over, from 8 until 11, they'll see it right back on videotape. And then the following week, right after Halloween, it'll be repeated for each day.
Not each day.
Not each day. But
the reason
you'll get the schedule out there.
The reason it's not each day is because election day. So we have the candidates forum. So we have to put it on as many times as we can.
Candidates forum. Look, it sounds like LMC-TV is just bubbling with excitement, and I welcome you aboard. And it's very nice to have worked with you for the last few weeks, and I look forward to working you for the next few weeks.
Few weeks.
Few months. Few months. Joe Windish, thank you very much for being with us on Live Talk tonight.
Good to be here.
And folks, remember you can contact him at 698-6808. He is the person who makes access happen in Mamaroneck and Larchmont. And I hope you'll be with me next week on Live Talk when my guest will be Rabbi Siegelman from the Westchester Jewish Center. He's also new in town, and I heard he's got a lot of interesting ideas. So if you're a member of that congregation or you'd just like to tune in and hear what's happening at the Westchester Jewish Center, please do so at 8 o'clock on next Wednesday. Until then, I'll see you somewhere around town. Wave to me if you find me in the supermarket. I'd like to know someone's watching. Bye.